nice talk. Our talk will be less technical, but we hope you'll find it as exciting as we do. We're going to talk about a project that we've been imagining and working on for a few months now, and we are thrilled to show it to the world for the first time at a queer event. And it's kind of a queer hello world that is happening here. So let's introduce ourselves.
Yeah, hi, I'm Elisabeth. I've been a developer for 3 years now, and I am also an instructional designer.
And I'm Claire. I'm a recent developer. I'm very new.
Okay, so we will be talking about our project, Electronic Tales, which is a learning platform for junior developers coming from bootcamps or who are self-taught developers. Or to say it more globally, for junior developers who did not receive a classical training in computer science. We will tell you about the specifics of our platform, but first we want to talk a little about why we thought it was important to go with such a project and what observations the idea was built on.
Yeah, basically we want to talk about our theoretical background.
So, close your eyes and let your imagination go. It's 4 p.m. You're a brand new software developer that joined a tech company a few months ago. Maybe you come from a programming bootcamp, or maybe you're a self-taught developer. Or maybe you're not that brand new, and you've been working in software development for several years. Anyway, it's 4 p.m., time for a coffee break. Everything goes fine, you're sipping your coffee, relaxing for a few minutes. And then it happens. Your colleagues start to talk about the water cooling system they installed on their computer last weekend. And they do it using an abundance of sophisticated technical terms. Or maybe they talk about the hardcore video games they played when they were teenagers. Or they made jokes about hacking stuff you don't understand. You feel lost. You feel like you don't belong here. Day after day, the process happens again and again, and you may start to develop imposter syndrome.
So let's step out from the cafeteria for a minute and consider a more formally documented example. Just for the record, for this example, we refer to a wonderful book of Isabelle Collet, Les Oubliés du Numérique, The Forgotten Women of the Digital World. So Carnegie Mellon University is a pretty well-known example of an institution that drastically changed its policies to promote diversity amongst its students. This change of policies happened in the late 90s and early 2000. One of the goals was to increase the proportion of women and minorities in computer science majors. And it actually worked. First, since 1995, the proportion of women entering Carnegie Mellon undergraduate computer science program has risen from 7% to 42% in 2000. And second, persistence of female students remaining in the program until graduation has risen to nearly match that of men, actually. People at Carnegie Mellon performed a lot of actions to promote diversity. Let's focus on one of them. So they analyzed why women and other minority students would succeed less than typically white, middle, and upper-class men. In computer science programs, courses where women and other minorities underperformed were the ones that had implicit technical requirements. So in order to solve this, the university recrafted first-year curriculum to be beginner-friendly. And the results were incredible. This experiment tends to show that when you identify implicit requirements and when you decide to work on it and make them explicit, actually, the problem gets solved. So from a more big picture point of view, the university researchers researchers, it's established that women used to drop computer science major because they would experience a loss of confidence, which would cause a loss of interest. This loss of confidence was not related to bad academic results at all. It was induced by the fact that there were some informal criteria for membership and success, and that women could not relate to those criteria.
We think that these implicit requirements mechanism go way beyond schools and universities. Actually, we think this is one of the main problems of the modern world, of the modern tech world. There is one guy who sums up all those implicit requirements. Let us introduce you to Mr. Super Geek.
So Mr. Super Geek, so he started programming when he was 10 or less. He codes like a god. He's a hardcore gamer, of course, and he's a hacker. He always prefers to use technical terms instead of normal words. He is deeply involved in open source projects, and he disassembles computers every weekend. And of course, he works on things that are too complicated to be explained to common mortals. We all know Mr. Super Geek. This guy is actually a fiction created by a system based on mechanisms of domination, sexist domination and racist domination, classist, transphobic, validist, homophobic, you name it, domination. This guy doesn't exist. He is a product of hegemonic masculinity, and this guy doesn't exist, and yet he oppresses everyone, white, cis, hetero, middle and upper class men included. So yeah, that's what we observed. So according to a survey conducted by Blind, an anonymous professional network in 2018, nearly 60% of 10,000 tech professionals declared that they suffer from imposter syndrome.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. So we decided to solve this problem once and for all. No, just kidding. We just wanted to do something that could help changing that. And we had an idea. So what if we try to identify those technical and cultural implicit requirements and deconstruct them in a collective and funny way? Just to be sure we were not the only ones thinking it would be a nice thing to do, we asked around, and here is some of the reactions we got. Yeah, so basically, those are very positive reactions, and we promise we didn't invent all of them.
So we started to work on Electronic Tales. Electronic Tales will be a social learning platform for junior developers. With this platform, we'll try to implement horizontal organization, meaning that everybody can contribute at any level. We will also try to give space for some critical analysis of problematic everyday practices in tech. This platform does not exist yet. Because of our iterative and horizontal approach, we ask people to co-create it with us. Yet we have a little framework. Okay, let's see how we imagined the learning part of the platform. The platform will be organized around 3 learning tracks, 3 words. The modern world will be about all the invisible things that make a good programmer. The ancient world is kind of hardware land. Here we would like to share knowledge in an accessible and inclusive language about the machine itself and its systems. And the last one, the Imaginarium track, will be the place where the cultural contents will live.
Yeah, so there will be 2 ways to interact with our online content. The usual way, just like a regular learning platform with 100% free accessible content under various formats, and a more unusual way. But let's go with the usual way for now. So there will be some technical content. On each topic, we will go from the big picture to more detailed explanations. We will have a Explain Me Like I'm 5 session, too late to ask section, and we will try to stay as practice-oriented as we can, using tools such as videos or sandboxes. We really want to have as many visual explanations as possible and storytelling-rich contents. We will also offer some cultural contents that will come as more classical articles, but also cool quizzes for fun only. We would love to have podcasts and videos.
So that was the usual way. But what about the unusual one? Well, because we know junior developers are busy people and it can be difficult to find time to learn new things, we want to have live sessions using the online content and going through some of it live and together in a night classes spirit. Like, let's learn computer architecture night, or let's learn open source night. And we want to have this kind of events like maybe twice a month. We also would like to organize some real life workshops, like learn to disassemble, sorry, not an easy word, like learn to disassemble a computer, for example. So this is what we imagined so far for the learning base. And what about the social part of the project?
The social part of the project, well, for now we are thinking of a classical, a simple, basic social wall. Actually, there might be plenty of other ways, like maybe we could plug to already existing social networks, for example. This point is typically one of the places we would love to have your ideas. But the idea of this social part would be to be able to communicate in a free, anonymous way and to offer a safe space to people to talk about work and life problems and to share knowledge, to ask community and to get peer support. And voila.
Voila.
Thank you all for listening to us. We are eager to hear what you think about this project. Every critiques, advices, ideas are more than welcome. I would say that they are needed, actually. Please check our presentation website, electronictales.io, and subscribe on it if you want to be part of the project and build Electronic Tales with us, or just if you want to be kept informed. We are on every possible social media, so like us, follow us, tweet us, retweet us. That would be lovely. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.